Welcome, everyone, to our discussion on reconnecting with what makes us human in an increasingly AI-driven world.
I'm really curious about how these ideas tackle that mix of anxiety and doubt we feel with AI tightening its grip on everything.
Absolutely. The core of what we're diving into is this phenomenon called AI anxiety, a sort of existential worry about our value and place as AI takes over tasks that feel uniquely human.
Yeah,
It's like you're watching a machine do something you thought only humans could do, and suddenly you begin to question your worth.
right. It's that feeling of comparing ourselves to a machine that never tires, never has an off day.
Exactly. And it's not just about jobs or efficiency, it's deeper. Many experience racing thoughts, difficulty focusing, or even that constant worry about being,
Mhm.
well, obsolete. It really hits at our very identity.
So, what do you think is the root cause of this anxiety? Is it simply the fear of job loss or something more?
Well, it's multifaceted. On one side, there's the tangible worry of job displacement due to AI automation. But then there's also these tougher questions around identity and purpose, like what makes me, when a machine can mimic thought and
Yeah,
creativity? It's that clash between our evolved human uniqueness and the uncanny, relentless quality of AI.
I see. So it's like not only are we worried about being replaced at work, but we're also grappling with our human essence.
Precisely. And that's where mindful resonance comes in. This isn't just a trendy term, it's about using mindfulness based techniques to recenter ourselves, reconnect with our bodies, our emotions, and our innate sense of purpose. It's like
Right.
um, a practice that reminds us what we uniquely bring to the table.
Mindful resonance sounds intriguing. Can you break down what that actually involves?
Sure, at its core, it revolves around being completely present, paying attention to your breath, your physical sensations, and even your heart's rhythm. One popular method is a 5-minute resonance practice where you pause, take 3 deliberate deep breaths, and actively scan your body for sensations without judgment. You then
Mhm.
connect with your heart, placing a hand there to really feel your pulse and appreciate your ability to experience.
That almost sounds like a mini reset button for the brain.
Yeah, exactly. It's like um, turning down the noise of constant digital input and tuning into what's happening right here with your body. It's a brief moment to remember that despite technology's glare, there's a soulful, emotional world that only you can experience.
Yeah. But don't you think that we might be exaggerating the divide a bit? I mean, isn't it possible that our fears are driven more by our own insecurities than by what AI can actually do?
That's a fair challenge. I mean, sure, there's an element of self comparison going on. We often measure our worth against what machines do. But the research indicates real physiological responses too, like racing thoughts and an overactive nervous system.
Yeah.
So while our inner critic might amplify the anxiety, the stress response is pretty concrete.
It's as if our minds and bodies are sending out alarms that something isn't balanced, even if the roots are complex.
Exactly. And that imbalance is why mindfulness practices are so potent here. Engaging in what's called resonance breathing, where you sit comfortably, place a hand on your chest and the other on your abdomen, and follow a rhythmic pattern like inhale for 4, hold, and exhale for 6. Helps switch off that
Mhm.
high strung state. It's about ceasing the constant comparison to an ever improving machine.
And I imagine this kind of practice, besides reducing stress, also bridges that gap between our emotional selves and the cold logic of AI.
Precisely. The idea is to reclaim our human essence. You see, research shows that meaningful human connections release oxytocin, lower stress hormones, and help us form rich, interpersonally resilient networks. That's something an
Yeah,
AI
indeed.
just can't replicate.
I wonder, though, in a world that's leaning so heavily on digital interactions, especially in workplaces, is it really feasible to carve out those moments of real human connection?
It is challenging, absolutely. The very advancements meant to streamline our routines often disconnect us from genuine human dialogue. But there are actionable steps. For instance, Designating technology-free zones and scheduling resonance meetings in the workplace can foster spontaneous, heartfelt
Mhm.
conversations. It's about deliberate choice and boundary setting.
So it's not just about coping individually, but also reshaping our environments to honor our need for connection.
Yup, exactly. This concept of conscious consumption of technology comes into play, using AI as an extension of our capabilities rather than letting it replace what makes us inherently human.
Right? And what about those daily practices? I read something about a morning routine that includes a short 5-minute breathing session before diving into devices.
Oh, exactly. The idea is to start your day by grounding yourself in your body. Kick off with a 5-minute resonance breathing, then later in the day, integrate a human connection break, maybe a genuine conversation, or even a few moments simply appreciating nature.
Mhm.
Even in the evening, reflecting on moments of human connection can help recalibrate your emotional compass.
That's kind of like scheduling mental and emotional appointments with yourself.
Yes, it's like setting aside time for recharging your uniquely human battery. These practices are there to protect us from the cognitive overload that AI can induce.
Right? I really like that idea, but can it really reverse the sense of inadequacy that comes from comparing our slow human learning processes with the lightning speed of AI?
That's a great question. While no practice is a silver bullet, the mindfulness techniques encourage us to value the subtle depth of our experiences, our creativity, empathy, ethical reasoning. In fact, studies show that a large percentage of employers value emotional intelligence and creative problem solving over raw technical skills.
Mhm.
It's a reminder that our human capabilities are distinct and crucial.
It sounds like we have a lot to gain from focusing on our strengths, rather than trying to compete head to head with AI.
Exactly. And it's not about rejecting technology, but finding a mindful relationship with it. By setting boundaries, like deliberately choosing when to engage with AI and when to disconnect, we empower ourselves to use AI as a tool, not as a measure of our self
Yep.
worth.
So, in essence, it's a call to integrate technology in a way that enhances our unique human qualities, such as empathy and creativity, rather than diminishing them.
Right on. And look at this further. When we foster authentic presence and real human connection, we start to build communities that can better withstand the rapid pace of technological change. These communities then create a social fabric that protects us psychologically from the harsh realities of constant digital innovation.
Yeah. And that I think is one of the most inspiring aspects of this approach, turning what seems like an anxiety inducing trend into an opportunity for reinvention.
Absolutely. It's about evolving consciousness, recognizing that while AI might outpace us in certain technical tasks, it can never replace the soulful depth of human connection, our vulnerability, our ethics, or our capacity for creative insight.
Mhm. Do you think this approach has broader applications beyond personal well being? It seems like there's a whole cultural shift happening here.
Definitely. In workplaces, for example, cultivating resonant leadership, where managers foster emotional intelligence and connection, creates an environment where innovation thrives not because of relentless efficiency, but due to genuine collaboration. It transforms how we
Yeah,
view success beyond just productivity metrics.
I can see that. But isn't there a risk that in our obsession with mindfulness, we might um, ignore valid concerns about AI's impact?
It's a valid concern. Balancing mindfulness with active engagement is crucial. Mindfulness isn't about denial, but acknowledgement. It gives us a pathway to approach AI driven change with a clear mind, allowing us to tackle serious issues like job displacement while also
Mhm.
fostering resilience.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a holistic approach that doesn't shy away from reality, but instead integrates our human values into it.
Right, it's like recalibrating our internal yardstick. Instead of measuring ourselves against an unrelenting machine, we measure our progress by our capacity to stay empathetic, creative, and connected.
Exactly. And going forward, this paradigm seems essential for not just surviving, but thriving in an AI future.
Absolutely. Embracing our human essence through practices like mindful resonance, setting healthy tech boundaries, and celebrating our unique emotional and ethical intelligence is the roadmap.
Yeah, it's really empowering to think that even as AI continues to evolve, we can choose to evolve in a very human way too.
Exactly. So remember, your value is not defined by how well you can match AI, but by the depth of your human experience. Keep reclaiming that essence and let your authenticity shine.
Absolutely.